This is Right Side Trader. Today is April 17th, 2026, and this is my weekly market review. We're reviewing the Russell 2000, that's IWM, on a quarterly chart, monthly chart, weekly chart, and a daily chart. This is all for educational purposes only, no trade recommendation, because as we all know, trading is risky. You can lose money at trading, so please check with your financial advisor. Please check with your significant other, and make sure trading is something that is suitable for you. All right, let's jump over to these charts. What we see is, maximize this quarterly chart, is all-time highs. We're still on the Russell below an R1 level. That's this green line right here. So again, it's not quite as strong as some of the other indexes, and I'm kind of really somewhat surprised and all. But it did still make up it has made a pretty good move this month and all. You know, look like over $25 from low to high. So that's really pretty strong for the Russell, and that's what we see here happening here right now. Let's go ahead and go down to our monthly chart and see what we see there. On this monthly chart, zoom in here like this, really tight, and all. And what we see here, we are above the 9-10 moving average. That's this blue line right here. The Russell really never got a close below that, so the Russell was bullish all along. That's why I was kind of thinking it might have been a little bit stronger, but it's not. But on these quarterly pivots, we are above an R1, which is this level right here. And also, again, that's a pretty strong looking move. And the thing is, how close are we to an R2? We're not that far away from an R2. We're only $10 away from an R2. So I definitely expect us, if this market is going to continue in this bullish pattern, and really we just getting a bullish piercing type pattern here, and I expect, you know, that confirmation candle to come through next weekend and get us above this 285 level. Again, no trade recommendation, and all. It's just based on what I see and what the Russell normally does. So that's all. It's just my opinion and my expectation. All right, but let's go ahead and go down to our weekly chart and see what we see there. On this weekly chart, what I see here is that we closed at an R2 level. That's the weekly chart on the monthly pivots and all, right just below it again. You know, but just like on all these indexes and all, this has been the strongest 3 weeks that I've seen in a long time and all, to the upside like this. You know, so again, I do kind of expect this trend to continue now that we've gotten above this level and all. But we will see the first couple of days what's going to happen come next week. Because what I'm seeing also here, we are approaching an R3 level early. This is weekly, early in the month, and we have 2 more weeks where we get above an R3, and here's an R3 level, what usually happens. So again, that's going to be careful as we approach that. But again, learn to trade what you see and what's in front of you at the time. But that's why again I'll be getting kind of cautious again once we start getting to this level. Right now, again, I can just be cautious. No trade recommendations here. All right, that's what I see. Let's go ahead and go down to our daily noise and wrap this on up. Zoom. See here on this daily picture, what I see. Let me back up here a little bit. The Russell kind of, the first day, it gave us a big bullish engulfing. It gave us confirmation. Then it kind of took its time and sucked some of the juice out of those options. Volatility also dropped. Then we got a nice pop today that made you money, you know. And the day was option expiration day too, you know. So that kind of like they had to play around with their positions probably before things are expiring here on the Russell, to make sure they didn't get too much pain if they had sold something above the market, you know. And we did end up closing. We end up closing at 275.78. So we did end up closing above 275. So that's always kind of the round numbers. You have to look at the round numbers a lot of times, you know. But that's only 78 cents above there. So based on what you was trading, you know, it may not hurt you too much, and all. But come next week, I do see us opening above pivot. That's this white line right here, and all. And once we get, since we're going to be opening above that, what's my target that I'm seeing up here? I see, again, another thing about the Russell is that opening above pivot, which is at 271, our target that we see Up here is 282. That's our $10 range. But from where we're at right now, we're at 275 to there. That's $7. So I do expect us to get above this 281, maybe that above our one next week, and close somewhere, fill in that whole $10 range that it usually likes doing. Just take a study the charts and see what the Russell like doing. What is average true range for the week is, and you'll probably be surprised what you see there. But that's it. That's pretty much it. That's all I really want to share at this time. This is Right Side Trader. Hope you guys had a great week. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you next week. Right Side Trader here. Have a good one. Subscribe, like. Talk to you next week. Have a good one. Bye.